What's going on, guys? DFSWarstrike here, and here in this video, I'll be doing a breakdown of the DraftKings USFL Week 5 slate. To start off the video, I wanted to kind of do a recap over Week 4. If you can see here, we hit big in the Discord last week. It was huge. I think I had 3 takedowns over the weekend just for myself. It was a great weekend here, and I kind of wanted to go over with who were my top plays. I know I had Slaughter down here at quarterback. I mean, kind of chalky at 46%. Was able to sneak just a little under 20 fantasy points through tons of attempts. I mean, he was outrageous, 397 passing yards. My top running back was Corbin. As you can see here, Corbin at only 6% ownership had 154 rushing yards. Corbin won me a lot of money. Corbin was the captain in our showdown slate, and Corbin absolutely killed the weekend. So Corbin at 6% last weekend was something that was huge. Dixon was chalk, and Dixon didn't really live up to it. It was more Adams than anything. That's the scary thing with New Orleans Breakers, is that they can spread the ball around to tons of talent. Ellis was our top back. Now that he's really kind of the only running back there, or at least reliable one, he was chalky, but 25 fantasy points really paid off for us. I was high on Victor on our player pool as well, as Victor was 6% ownership at 16 fantasy points. And then the Generals defense, which didn't live up too much to me, but to me in here, defense is not too important unless they're getting touchdowns. You can see here, it really honestly wasn't that close for me. I went into the Sunday, I think, in 3rd place, but I had the whole, Slaughter, Dixon, and Ellis to play compared to everybody else really just having one of each or somebody else on the side. But it was a lot of fun this weekend. The most profit I've had in USFL to start the year. I think this was like a $50 entry. It was a lot of fun. 3 takedowns over a weekend. You can't really get much better than that. But with that being said, I just kind of want to give you a little recap of what you can get if you come join our Discord. You get the cheat sheet that I'm about to go over, which is updated completely all the time. You get the player pool, you get my core, and you get constant contact with me through there if you have any questions or anything like that. So please come join the Discord. I'll have the link down in below. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get started on the slate. All right, so here we go. This is the cheat sheet for Week 5. As you can see, I have quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, and defensive special teams that I will be going over. Starting at the top, I don't really like Jordan this week. For some reason he keeps being priced really high at 11K. I think it's more or less just the name because of XFL, but I'm really not for him. Kyle, who goes up against the 3rd best opponent versus the pass. As you can see, Slaughter here at 10.8, second highest price guy. He throws it tons of times. So, I mean, he's going to get turnovers, but I mean, you can see he's already surpassed over 1,000 passing yards through the first couple weeks. So I do like Kyle this week if you guys want to go there. Patterson, I'm not a huge fan of. They're not really a high-powered offense. They go up against an average defense against the pass, but I'm not for him. You can see there, 48 completions on 88 attempts, 431 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. The rushing yards are nice to see. They're second most in the league for the quarterbacks right now. But I'm probably not going to have too much Patterson. Jamar Smith is somebody I'm okay with. You see there, 19 fantasy points, 46 of 89, 581 yards, 5 passing touchdowns. Alex, I think, got the start last weekend, though. But you can see there, 101 rushing yards. Alex there down below, $1,300 cheaper, 19 of 36, 181 yards, and 1 passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown on top of that. DeAndre Johnson, he splits a lot of time with Luis Perez. It really, to me, is just going to depend how the game's going. If they can control the run game, you can see there 230 yards, even though they're going against the pass. Maybe this is a better weekend for Johnson to get in here and get some plays. Luis Perez did look pretty solid last weekend. As on the season, he's 45 for 66, 417 yards, 2 touchdowns. But going up against the second pass defense right now, I don't know if they're going to use Luis that much this weekend. They may just focus on DeAndre Johnson running the ball. Now, last weekend when Luis was in, it was looking a lot better in the run game when Luis was handing it off. More or less things had to be spread out. The defense couldn't stack in the box like they were doing with Johnson. The offense looked more afloat when Perez was in there. I will give him credit for that. Case looks like he's going to get another start for Philadelphia this week. 35 for 50, 336 yards, 3 passing touchdowns on the year. And he's going up against one of the worst ranked defenses for the past. So I wasn't on him last week. It was pretty much a good fade. I saw he had a little bit of ownership on him. So maybe this week we go to him based off his matchup, and Philadelphia being a high powered offense. I think here can really explode for him this week. Other than that, Clayton, 581 pass. I saw the passing touchdowns. That's something that's great. Another good cheap play that we could go to here if we have to. Pittsburgh, I'm not sure how much Josh is going to play. They did just pick him up this week. Maybe he will see some minutes. They need to do whatever they can to just get that offense going. Right now, that offense isn't moving the ball. Kyle at 26 of 55, 218 yards, and then 18 rushing yards. They are going up against the worst team against the path. So it's really just going to depend how much Josh Love's going to play. I'm assuming he's not going to play that much considering he's fairly new and he has to learn learn the playbook. But Kyle here could see some time. I'd rather probably pay up for Clayton or Casey. Other than that, that's really going to be it for me on quarterbacks, guys. Just remember as I'm going through this, I will have my player pool out in my Discord, and I'll list who I like as my top play, my cash plays, my GPP, all that stuff. And I typically only list my favorite plays in the position. But you can go through here. My favorite play probably at the top here is probably going to be Jordan Ellis again. BJ is somebody I'm not really high on. You can see he's 9,400. He's going up against a pretty decent opponent against the run. So I don't know how much of BJ I will have this weekend. He only has 134 yards compared to Ellis's 247. As you can see there, he's had 83 carries, which is a way higher amount. He has 2 rushing touchdowns, and he's also seen just a couple less targets in the passing game. As you're scrolling down, I know Mark Thompson, who's one of the best backs in the league. He leads the league in rushing yards still. Mark Thompson's a solid option. He just kind of had a tough matchup this week. Now it's a weaker matchup at 7,100. I think Mark Thompson can do some damage. CJ down here for Birmingham, 56 carries, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns, and another great matchup as they go up against the worst team against the run. Tony Brooks Jr., somebody who can get involved, 27 carries, 142 yards. Pittsburgh, it's just hard for me to go with Pittsburgh. You can see Garrett up there at the top. He got a little involved in the passing game last week. That was something I like to see. So if Garrett can see a little bit more of that, Garrett's obviously the top back here, but London is a great playmaker, especially in the passing game. He can do some damage as he has 6 receptions on the year. But Pittsburgh is just a team that's hard for me to get to until I start seeing a float of some offense coming around. Michigan, Reggie Corbin, won me a lot of money last week. He's been heavily involved here to begin the year. You see he is 2 for 2 on targets. He has 13 carries for 154 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. So I do think that he is a solid option. Again, I think he's going to become the every down back here. Darius Victor at 5K is somebody else that I really like. You see there 49 carries, 212 yards, 4 touchdowns, leads the league in touchdown. So Victor and Corbin, who I think could be 2 of the top backs in the league next to Mark Thompson, and they're 5,500 5K. So, I think those are really 2 good options if you have to go down that low. Other than that, I don't want Washington. I don't think he's going to do too much. Paul Terry for Philadelphia, like I said, I think that's more of a pass heavy. And then that's really it for me when it comes to that. I probably won't go as low as Victor when it comes to that stuff. But now we'll hit the receiver tight ends. Victor Bolden comes atop. He's safe option. He's going to be high owned, but he's pretty much guaranteeing you double digits. Zuber here was somebody that was kind of disappointing for people last week. We weren't really on him too much. So I like Zuber this week as he's going up against a pretty weak defense against pass. So if you want to go there, I'm all for it. Johnny Dixon is somebody that I do like for New Orleans. The only thing with New Orleans, they have so many options. They have Poindexter, Dixon, Jonathan Adams, Taywan Taylor is even getting involved last week, and the tight end Canella was involved. Like they're just so staffed with offense that really anybody any given week can start going off for you there. So that's the thing you have to look out for New Orleans is who's consistently getting the ball. Johnny Dixon, 3 touchdowns, 30 targets, 208 receiving yards. Jonathan Adams is somebody that's he leads the team, I think. Oh no, Canella does at 215. But Jonathan Adams at 213 is a solid option. Those are 2 plays that are down there. JoJo Ward is somebody that I like this week. He came back last week off an injury, scored a touchdown. You see he has 9 receptions on 13 targets. He's a good playmaker for Houston. If you want to go to Ward, I do like Ward. Canelo, we talked about him. I like him as we're going down here. Anthony Ratliff, I think is solid. You see there 10 for 18, 130 yards, 1 touchdown. Trey Walker was somebody who was big for me. You can see there 17 receptions on 30 targets. You see the big difference in the targets in his price range. Also the yardage, most of it came last week. A lot of it was due to the lack of depth at the receiver chart. So we'll have to pay attention to the injury news for the Pittsburgh receivers to see if Jeffrey Thomas is going to play. If he doesn't play, then I really like Trey Walker again. So I will keep up with all that and post it all on my Discord as well. Devin Ross for Michigan, 11 catches on 21 attempts. That's also a pretty big difference. And then other than that, like down here, other than like GPP plays, you can go to Vinny or even just showdown plays. Vinny, Woody Branham sees the targets, Hunter Thedford sees targets, but none of them I would really play on main slates. They're not really too high for me. But other than that, that's a couple quick options for you guys to go there. And then here is the defensive stats. You can see that the Gamblers have given up over 1,000 passing yards, but they've given up 5 touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns. The Stallions here are really good. Birmingham's really good against the run, and so are the Breakers. So I would probably be limited. Like I said, this cheat sheet's going to be posted. It's going to be updated with other stuff as we go through the day. So I will have this all updated for you guys when you come look at all this stuff. But other than that, guys, that's going to be it for me. Just a quick little run of how this slate looks and who I'm liking at a quick glance. I will have more in-depth plays on my Discord tomorrow, so don't forget to come join. I'll have the link down below. Also follow my Twitter. If you think this information's helpful, please just leave a like on the YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. USFL has been really big for us since I've started doing it the last couple of weeks. But other than that, guys, that's going to be it for me. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much and good luck on this slate, okay?